Hello everyone, CrystalFissure here, and welcome to another video. We're just having a bit of a chat, we're having a bit of a talk. I just got back from America yesterday, did 3 weeks there, tried to stagger some uploads, tried to get some of the reignited stuff almost done. That's almost done. Gonna get back into the swing of things, LPs and everything like that. But before we get back into Let's Plays and sort of the regularly scheduled programming, if you will, I wanted to talk about something that has came up, and obviously this is a story that has been really developing for many years now. And I mean that in a kind of in a multifaceted way. One in connection to Spyro and the other in connection to Crash. So, as you guys know, you've obviously, I think that, my audience, you guys are, very clued in to what's going on in the world of Crash and Spyro. In the world of Crash, there is Wumpa League, or formerly known as Wumpa League potentially. We don't know what it's going to be called, but there is a game that was in development that had sort of started and stopped called Wumpa League, developed by Toys for Bob, and presumably probably some other studios helping out as usual. Now, it's resurfaced again. There was a podcast that came out with some industry insiders, industry lads, that have basically predicted that at the, there's an upcoming event, I think it's June 12th or something like that. I'll put the details here where they speculate it will be, and a Crash Bandicoot multiplayer game will be announced. So this being the former Wumpa League, they're speculating it's 4-player brawler kind of thing. Again, I don't really know, we don't really know what it's going to be at this point, because that was the biggest point of contention with Wumpa League, is that apparently it didn't test all too well, or it was just they weren't too happy with it, and so they rejigged it, and then Crash 4 sales, which were, by the way, excellent, but I guess maybe not to the stockholders' standards. Now, all this rambling aside, I guess I'm happy for Crash, right? We're happy for Crash. I think everyone that likes Crash Bandicoot is excited to see another attempt at a multiplayer game, something that's going to be better than Crash Bash, going to be better than that piece of crap, was it Crash Boom Bang? But I think this is rightful. I think that most people can agree that in seeing another Crash Bandicoot game, the Spyro fan base is seething. The Spyro fan base is jealous. Let's say that. Now, I'm a Crash fan, obviously, but I think I'm a bigger Spyro fan. Like, ultimately, I think if I had to pick, I would choose the first 3 Spyro games over basically any Crash game, and that's just the reality. Now, I think Crash had a better outing after, in the next generation, in the 6th and onwards, but ultimately, I feel like I prefer Spyro. And so the news of this, and this is what I kind of wanted to talk about and get your opinions and stuff, is just the crippling disappointment that we're not getting that article saying new Spyro game. We're not getting anything saying, Spyro is going to be next. And the whole, attitude, as we've heard over the years, is like, you get something for Crash and then you get something for Spyro. And that stopped after Reignited Trilogy. Like, we got Insane Trilogy, and then we got Reignited Trilogy. And then you think, okay, back to Crash, which obviously it was nitro fueled. Okay, we'll give you a concession, we'll go to Crash 4, but what next? Let's go Spyro 4. Let's jump to the next Spyro. But no, what do we get? We got On the Run, which is cool. It's a mobile game, kind of separate. It's not really like this major release that should be, a point of being upset because it's a mobile game. But now, once again, we've jumped again to another Crash game, and it's now a multiplayer game. In the meantime, we've only had the Reignited Trilogy in 2018, and then when it got ported to the other console, Switch and stuff like that in 2019. And it's now 2022. So it's been, it's been 4 years since a Spyro game. And I think people are a little bit fed up. And I think that's kind of what I wanted to talk about. It's just the fact that it seems like Spyro is held to another standard that, because it doesn't do quite as well as Crash in sales, it's almost considered a failure. And maybe they wouldn't use that kind of language, but that's kind of what I think has people disappointed about this whole situation, is that, we get another Crash game, another Crash game, another Crash game. I say that 3 times. No Spyro. And, I know that the people that I talk to and sort of the communities that I'm involved, like with ISGP, International Spyro Grand Prix, like speedrunning and stuff like that, it's weird in that I've almost never seen less optimism. And that's funny because there are these little hints that things might be going on. People have covered it, Canadian guy, they've covered the little hints, the little suggestions and stuff like that, and there's probably other stuff going on behind the scenes that would suggest even more. But even with that being said, even with that happening, there's still no outward proper teasing apart from a video I filmed in this room at least a year and a half ago with the little hint at Spyro 4 in the Crash art book. Fantastic book, by the way, but in the Crash art book. So, but I guess that what I want to say is that Spyro fans are starving. And why is it that Crash gets to have all of these extra releases, but Spyro never gets that opportunity? And I guess I'm saying that almost as a rhetorical question because I think I have somewhat of an answer. And I think that a lot of people will probably relate to this or kind of agree with this. It's that Spyro games seem to be, by the way, there's construction going on, so sorry if you hear that, next to my house. Spyro games are inherently, they give off the impression that they're more difficult to craft. And that's evident by the fact that there really hasn't been a truly phenomenal one since 3. Hero's Tale was, it jumped away from the formula a little bit, not in a bad way, but it wasn't amazing. It was good, right? Enter the Dragonfly, obviously, a disaster with glimmers of quality there, Legend of Spyro, a kind of in my opinion, a boring kind of brawler, combat, just linear. I just didn't enjoy it. I do plan on streaming it at some point one day, maybe LPing it even like 80%, not 100%, but just not for me. And then even Reignited Trilogy just didn't have that same polish that Insane Trilogy had. So Spyro's always struggled with anything apart from 5th generation. And I think that once again, you have a situation here where for some reason, maybe it's because he's on four legs, the developers don't know how to modernize Spyro. Is that the problem? Is it that we don't know how to monetize? Well, I think that honestly they know how to monetize Spyro. But is it that the developers and companies don't know how to modernize the game? KO the Kangaroo just came out. Louis was going crazy because the construction, he gets rattled by like any noise. KO the Kangaroo just came out, and obviously that didn't reinvent the formula, but it was like a solid game, if a little bit glitchy and stuff like that. I'm actually waiting for some of the more patches to come out so I don't have to deal with some of that stuff. It's just like the kind of the glitches that that are talked about. They would just want me to tear my hair out. But anyway, the point is that there's all these platformers are released now, I guess more than they were in the 2010 era. I think I would wager. And they're kind of, there's a little bit of a resurgence, but Spyro just always seems to be kind of in that purgatory. Even when we first got Skylanders, I remember being kind of like skeptical, but then kind of excited, and then you realize very early on, oh my god, you can't even jump, right? You Spyro the Dragon, can't even jump, can't glide. I know the 3DS version had some more platforming elements, but whatever. Point being that Spyro just constantly seems to be left behind or they don't know what to do. So what should they do? I guess that's the question. And I think that it's always been, to me, simple, but I guess I'm not the one developing it, I'm not the one creating it. When you look at things like the fan game, when you look at Spyro Myths Awaken / Zero Myths Awaken, that's obviously now its own thing. But when it was Spyro Myths Awaken, when looking at Dream Nexus and Spring Savannah and stuff like that, what did they do that made everyone excited? Well, the answer was very, very simple. All they did was they took the formula of the original games and then made new levels and made new adventures. Now, all you have to do is modernize the graphics. We've already got that template with Reignited Trilogy. Renode the trilogy. Obviously, I think it looks pretty good. It's not perfect, but there's, especially in Spyro 1, I think some excellent design choices and feel to kind of give it its own thing. Yeah, you've got that, right? You've got the modern graphics already. Then you have, a warp room, realm, worlds system. You have other breaths or something like that, depending on the situation. You have different power-ups. You can basically combine elements of 1, 2, and 3, and you would have a theoretically beautiful Spyro game. I don't know what seems so complicated, but I guess I'm not in the industry fully and I can't give you the answer. So I guess I just wanted to address it. I just wanted to talk about it. I'm not hating on Crash that we're getting another game. I am excited that we're getting another game. At the end of the day, I am a Crash Bandicoot fan. I actually don't have any Crash thing, I've got the Renode trilogy thing up there, but and GTA and all that. But oh, here you go. Look, I got this from my birthday. That one, that's very cool. Thank you, Jess, for that. But so I've got that. I'm a big Crash fan, but I want more from Spyro, and I'm tired of waiting. I get the tweets. I get the side that's like, let's just be patient. Let's get a good game, not a rush game. I know, but 2018. You could have started from 2018. You could have started when it clearly sold millions of copies, right? And it had such a rushed development time that if you're talking about it from an hourly, like depending on if they're on a salary or whatever, that game was probably made ultimately cheaper than a lot of other games because of the fact that it was so quickly done. I'm not sympathetic to the financial argument, like whether it was successful enough or not. No, I'm not, because they basically shelved Tony Hawk, and that did one of the best sales in the entire history of the franchise, 1+2, and yet Vicarious Vision still got basically dissolved and moved to Diablo. So anyway, this is a bit of a rambler video. I just like to kind of talk and just basically say that I'm back, and I want to get your opinions. I want to get some discussion in the chat. Because I know that people are frustrated. I know that people are excited. It's a very confusing time, which is a classic CrystalFissure video where we're going all was it everything everywhere all at once? Fantastic movie. We're going there. There's all these directions and stuff like that. But yes, ultimately, I want more Spyro, but I'm happy for Crash. So with that, thank you very much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed this video, and I will see you very, very soon. Goodbye and good night.